Hello. Welcome to Punch Fear in the Face. I'm Shannon, and on most days I ain't even scared. But I am stressed a little bit, like we all are. But this is sort of a new thing for me, but I'm really glad it's happening because it's really helping me understand how hard it is to stay in that woo-woo high vibration mentality when you've got so much on your plate. And I'm older, I'm semi-retired, so I've been pretty chill. My life's been pretty chill, and I've been so grateful because I had a stressful life. As a matter of fact, I just was listening to this Buddhist thing last night that said your first 30 years are about just learning and growing and just, surviving. Your second 30 years is the stress test. And then if you survive that, you get to 60 and then it's the golden years, right? Anyway, I just thought that was really interesting. So I had the stress test for sure. I went through the stress test. And so I did kind of have my, I don't know, spiritual awakening, if you will, until I had the headspace to do so, which is fair, right? And that happened for me February 2024. I'm not sure if I've ever talked about that, but today's episode, by the way, is nothing has meaning until you give it meaning, right? And why that's important is because when you are busy and you are stressed out and you're looking for ways to bring up your vibration, right? We're all vibration. We talk about the importance of keeping your vibration high to attract like high vibration opportunities and events and people into your life. So how do you do that when you're so stressed out? And this has been good for me because I have not had the time. I've had to really struggle to meditate and to get there. But it's been good for me because then I can pass this on to those of you who are in the stress test phase, which would be 30 to 60. How do you do it? And really, it's the monkey mind. Boy, you have to just quiet the monkey mind in meditation, and that's really hard. But I've also talked about if you can't get there, if you don't have the time to meditate, it happens. I'm like, oh, I'm going to meditate here in 5 minutes. Let me just do this really quick. Yeah, right. Then I do that. Then I do this. Then my mind is racing. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm meditating. I got to go. I got things to do. So in that case, I've talked a little bit about the power of prayer, a quick little prayer. And this is another little trick. And that is see the signs and things throughout your day, right? You look at the clock and it's 2:22. Okay, someone like my husband, red aura type, he's like, it's total coincidence. It means nothing. Well, listen, if this is your matrix that you're creating, nothing has meaning until you give it meaning. This is your story. This is your life. Choose to give it meaning. I do. And it raises my vibration and makes me happy. So when I look at the clock, oh, 2:22. I like twos. And what was I thinking at the time? And then I just think maybe it's a sign that was a sign. Well, I choose to see it as a sign. And then I start seeing twos everywhere, right? What does that mean? It doesn't really matter what it means. It means that spirit's there, that you've noticed it. It's a practice in awareness that there is something more. And in that, I think you can create a better day and keep your vibration a little higher as you go through the stress. And I'm going to tell you a little story about the numbers, right? That used to be that I'd see 444s and then that it changes for me. The numbers change for me, right? And you guys could think I'm crazy, but all you logic people out there who think, oh, it's just coincidence, like my husband, he doesn't believe in it at all. Well, I just do. And I'm going to tell you a story. I've talked about my car. I like to go fast. I'm a fast driver. I like speed. And so I commute between my ranch in Tehachapi and LA. And I get going pretty fast. Sometimes I speed race with these guys on the 14 through Antelope Valley. I'm just saying, we're very safe and courteous about it. It's just a lot of fun. Anyway, I was leaving the Mojave supercharging station, and it's a slow, you got to go 45 miles an hour. And then it turns into a highway, so you eventually can go 65. And I was cruising out, and at the time I kept seeing sevens. It was just all about sevens. So I looked down and I had 177 miles um left on my car. I had 77 miles to home. It was like 5:57 on the clock. It was like 7:77. Oh, and I was going, this is the good part. I was going 77 miles an hour. And I'm just cruising way over the speed limit because I think I was still in the 45 zone, to be honest. And I had another guy speeding with me. I always have a friend, speeding with me. This guy, a little speedy guy, speeding Gonzalez behind me, and we're speeding. And I saw all the sevens, and I thought, oh, I choose to make that a sign. That's a sign. So I slowed the fuck down. And the guy behind me passed me and he sped on. And wouldn't you know it, about 5 minutes later, I drive past that guy getting pulled over, getting a speeding ticket. And in that moment, I just thanked my lucky stars. I thanked myself for paying attention. I thanked the gods for sending me a sign. And I choose to believe that was a sign. And I listened to it and I didn't get a speeding ticket. And Deepak Chopra says, what you call coincidence, I call synchronicity. And I love that, right? So I choose to call it synchronicity. And that's just one of the signs of many. So nothing has a sign to it. So what are the other things? I mean, we all know the signs. We see the clock at a certain time, or when someone called, we were just thinking about somebody and they call. That's another one that happens all the time. Choose to take it as a sign that there's more to life, right? That it means something. It raises your vibration. It'll make you feel better. So in a stressful day, look for the little signs as you go by. Look at everything as happening for a reason, for you, for your best interest, for a lesson, whatever. So as you start to see things in a different way, a different light, if you will, if you start to see this little synchronicities in life, slow down and smell the roses, so to speak. If you find a feather, if a song comes on when you were thinking about somebody that, just all the little signs. And that's a way to feel good, raise your vibration. And how does that have to do with punching fear in the face? Let's not forget that fear is the lowest vibration. So unnecessary. Actually, it's interesting because I'd mentioned in an earlier podcast that I've started to be able to see people's sort of aura colors, and it's helped me understand so much about everything. Sometimes life is about just knowing thyself and accepting it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with human design and astrology and all. I never used to believe in astrology, but goddamn, I think I gotta relent to that a little bit. I'm Cancer, and I'm Cancer rising, Cancer falling, Cancer. I don't know. It says water, 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 emotion. I mean, and my aura colors are blue, indigo, blue, purple, just emotional colors, not a logic color to be seen. So, you know what? Fuck it. That's who I am. There's something to be said about just knowing that, and accepting. And I know this woman, Monica Lorraine. She's amazing. Look her up. Monica Lorraine. She does human design. And I was talking to another friend who had also seen Monica, and she's like, I'm skeptical. I mean, it's in my chart. I mean, so, I'll just accept that about myself. I'm skeptical. And my chart said something about in my life, it's overcoming the need for validation, right? Because I grew up without much of a cheerleader. My parents weren't, yeah, it's inner child. That'll be another episode. But so for me, I'm never going to have anybody like, good job, Shannon. My friends, that's not true. Oh my God, I love you all. You guys know who you are. I love you so much. But my friends are, but like my parents and my husband and it's just, I never kind of get that you can do this. I get more like, what the fuck? Please don't. Are you sure? So that now that I know I'm never going to get that, I just go forward anyway. And that's helped me punch fear in the face, right? I'm not going to get validation. No one's going to say this is a good idea. I'm going to get 3 ostriches. My male is in heat right now. It's spring. Ooh, he's dangerous right now. He was just making this noise, but I love it. It's crazy. And I don't regret it. I never do. I never regret anything. Even the mistakes, take it as a sign. Mistakes, the only mistake is not learning from your mistake, right? Anytime we learn, we ascend, we grow, and that, just like I like to go fast, there's also a high in ascending. I like a good high. That also is another episode coming soon. A lot of us have addictions to, I just said I drive fast. I go through, it's not okay. It's not okay, but it's so much fun, especially when my little speed demon, they're usually young males in their late teens, early 20s that I'm speeding with. And when they see who they've been speeding with, it's really funny. The look on their face is priceless. Gray haired lady in a Tesla, it's priceless. And see, God, I get a fucking kick out of that, right? I get such a high out of that. It's so fun. And then I'm just laughing my ass off, right? And laughter is the highest vibration. No, and I'm not saying risk your life, be an idiot like me to get a high. No. I've always said, don't do as I do. We're just talking here. We're just talking about ways to punch fear in the face. And I have mentioned that being fearless does come with risks, but it's so much fun sometimes. But anyway, so everything is a sign. And what happens is you start to see things as a sign as you go through your day, and it opens that muscle of awareness, and you will notice a certain flow in your life that starts to happen. More and more of those little things will happen. And you're thinking, am I just noticing it, or are more of these things happening? Like all of a sudden, why am I finding feathers like all the time? Like, is it because I'm aware, or is it actually more than usual? And I do go through phases where I'm finding something more than others. Like there was a time I was finding dimes like crazy. And because I'm a psychic and intuitive, I knew who it was who was giving me dimes. And I don't get them anymore. We've moved on. But then there was a time I'd always get feathers, red tail hawk feathers. And I know who that was too. And let's see. I don't know. And I take it as a sign, and I love it. Makes me happy. So anyway, that's today's episode. A way of feeling better. Why not? Nothing has meaning until you give it meaning. So give it a fan-fucking-tastic meaning. Why not? Make it great. Raise your vibration. Have fun. Have fun. Punch fear in the face. Until next time, everybody, namaste.